Welcome back. Here we're going to look at an example of movement and events in the game that affect movement. Let's look right up here at the special rules. We'll see it again. We can look down here at movement. The Swedish units receive a +1 movement point bonus on turn 1 only. The Saxon Russian units movement rate are halved on turn 1, normal thereafter. So I set up a really contrived game here so we can do this and see the examples of movement. I will hit next phase. You saw it said the Swedish units have a movement allowance of 1 this turn. You see their movement allowance here is 4 and 6. It used to be 3 and 5, so they can move 1 extra hex. Now, note that the movement allowance of the Russian Saxon players are 4s and 6s. If we skip ahead to their movement phase, it will say something about their movement being halved, as you can see here. And you see the 3 becomes a 1, and the 3 becomes a 1, and the 4 becomes a 2. There are other games that we can show you that would demonstrate these effects too. In this game, there are special rules here that talk about the release of this division. All these guys up here in these hexes, I put just one up there, but all these guys in the R6 hexes are part of a reserve division. And it says right here, I will summarize it for you, that if you roll a die at the beginning of each turn, if you roll a 6, then the units will be released here and then you can use them to attack. We've found in the game that usually doesn't happen in time to do anything significant, but it was a possibility in the real battle for this to happen. So I have set up a very contrived game here where basically there's one unit on the map, and I'm going to hit next phase and hope that we roll a 6. I'll show you the effects of not rolling a 6 too. We hit next phase, it says no combat is possible. It says it's the beginning of the Russian player turn. Russian movement halved this turn because it's turn 1. That's another effect that I did not mention, but that's true too. Here we go again, Swedish player turn. Now we're doing it again, Russian player turn. We rolled a 4 if you saw that. So he didn't roll a 6. We will now skip forward real quick and see if we can get a 6 just to make the demonstration plausible. You'll also notice every time we haven't rolled a 6 here that these units are not movable. You see, you can't click on it. Rolled a 3. Here we did it. We rolled a 6, now this unit is actually movable. So that is an example of event-based movement restrictions. And we'll show you another one after this. Finally, in this game, we'll show an example of what we call Danish indecision. It says so right here. Historically, the Danes allowed the Swedes to advance over the swamps and onto their right flank with no intervention. And so it's hard to say do something stupid to a person if they don't want to, so it would make the game not very realistic. So we have this 6.2 rules. At the beginning of the Danish movement phase, turns 1 through 3 inclusive, the Danish player will roll basically a 6-sided die. If the roll is 2 or less, the Danish player may move no units that turn. And if you haven't rolled a 1 or 2 by turn 4, you will have it automatically done for you. So that means that at one point the Danes are going to sit there and not be able to move. So here I have another contrived game with only 2 units, so you can see that they will not be able to move by turn 4 if they haven't been indecisive by that time. So hit next phase, and we see the die roll will show up after this. And the indecision was 4, so we can move these units these turn. Then we go again, and then we see what the die roll was again. It was another 4, so then we go, and that was turn 2, and this is the last time we roll the die. It was a 6. So we lucked out, except that next turn it will be on automatic, indecisive, no Danish movement this turn. Because if you don't roll a 1 or 2 by the turn 4, you're done for. So it will then be able to move again on the next turn. As you see, it's now the next turn, and the indecision die rolls no longer affect anything. And that is an example of event-based movement restrictions. Thank you for watching.